The wife asked for a divorce because she wanted to be with her rich boyfriend. But then the boyfriend lost all his money and she wanted to get back together with me. You're 32 and you've been married to your 27-year-old wife for almost 6 years. You've been together for 8 years and 3 months and have been living together for 7 years. Everything seemed great between you two. You both have good jobs, a car, stable finances, and bought a house together 5 years ago, in February 2022. Sadly, you unexpectedly lost your mother to a heart attack. It was a really tough time for both you and your wife because you were very close to your mother. For about 6 months afterward, you mostly stayed at home, relaxing and watching TV. It was a difficult period and you weren't very happy, but you believed you would get through it together. D-Day, as people call it, was 5 weeks ago. Your wife went out drinking with 3 male friends from work, just a short distance from your house. You were okay with it but planned to go to bed soon. Around 3:30 in the middle of the night, she came home with these guys and mentioned she was going to the city with them. This made you uneasy, especially since everything typically closes by 4 a.m. and it's only a 15-minute ride. However, she returned at 5:30 a.m., sparking your suspicions even though you hadn't distrusted her before. Then about 4 weeks ago, she spent the entire Sunday away, claiming she was going to a carnival with her mom. You felt unsure about it but couldn't do much. She even left without saying goodbye while you were showering. When she came back later that day, she was in tears, and her first words were that she wanted a divorce. After our emotional conversation, I asked my wife directly if she had cheated, but she denied it. She mentioned feeling unhappy for a while, which led to her decision for a divorce. This was a complete surprise to me since she never mentioned any problems in our relationship before. She moved out to her mom's house after our talk. About 4 days later, we met again because we share a dog that neither of us can care for alone. Our dog is now staying with an aunt. During this meeting, I confronted her again about cheating, and this time she confessed. She admitted to cheating on me from the night she went drinking until she left home the next week. She also said she thinks she's in love with the other person. When I asked her what makes him so special, she just said they have a good connection. She also mentioned feeling like she's going through a midlife crisis, unsure about her life and what she wants. To me, it seems like she's acting impulsively, dyeing her hair purple and signing up for motorcycle lessons shortly after. I tried to make things right with my wife, but she wouldn't listen. She ignores all my serious messages and only replies to casual ones with short and arrogant responses. It's like she's a different person now, and it happened so quickly. She's treating me badly, like I'm not important to her anymore. I wonder if this is her way of avoiding facing her problems by acting like I don't matter. Or maybe she really has changed and feels this way now. I can't understand how this happened. I know falling in love can feel amazing, but what will happen when the excitement fades and she realizes what she's done? I'm feeling a lot of mixed emotions, resentment for her cheating and deep disappointment. I understand that the foundation of our marriage has always been strong. It's been 5 weeks since everything started. Neither of us has officially filed for divorce yet. I suspect she's still seeing the guy she cheated with. Honestly, I'm torn between saving our marriage and ending it. Right now, I don't even know if I want us to reconcile or divorce. It's a confusing time. If I rush into filing for divorce, I might regret it later. But I can't keep living in this uncertainty where we're technically married, but she's not here. In the first 4 days after she left, I wasn't sure if she was cheating or not. Those days were incredibly tough because I felt so guilty and like I messed everything up. But after she confessed to cheating, those feelings started to fade. Even if I have some blame, the end of our marriage is entirely her fault. She never showed any signs of unhappiness. She seemed happy, outgoing, like she could be an actress. She never talked about being unhappy or what needed to change. And then she cheated and continues to do so. I don't believe there's any going back from this. Right now, I don't even miss her. Sometimes I miss how we used to be as a couple, but I can't recognize the person she's become. I almost feel sorry for the next guy she's going to hurt. It's surprising, but I've been handling my mom's passing quite well. Of course, I have other things on my mind, but I was slowly getting back on track, looking forward to going out, having drinks, enjoying my motorcycle rides. But then she cheated and it felt like I was pushed back into a low point. With time, I know things will get better. However, I'm not looking forward to the upcoming holidays. It's hard without my mom, my wife, and my dad is alone after being married for 40 years. But we'll manage. Life moves forward. Thankfully, I have a supportive sister and a great group of friends I've known for over 20 years. I'm not ready to jump back into single life, but there's a part of me that's a bit excited. It's been over 8 years since I last dated. I've been going out and doing things whether or not I checked with my partner first. This year has been really tough, but I believe there are better times ahead. One Redditor made a good point about us marrying young. I was 26 and she was 21. I haven't changed much since then, but maybe she has changed a lot and kept those feelings hidden for a long time. She even mentioned feeling like she's going through a midlife crisis, not me. Regarding our mutual interests, hobbies, and traits, I didn't delve into that much detail in my earlier post because I didn't think it was crucial, and the post was already long. But here's more about it. We both enjoy gaming, although we never really play together. Currently, I'm really into playing Age of Empires 4 on my PC, while she enjoys playing The Witcher on the 4 pounds. We both enjoyed watching Netflix shows together, especially after my mom passed away. Even before that, we preferred staying in to watch a good movie rather than going out drinking. Occasionally, we'd go to the cinema together, maybe once or twice a month. We also enjoyed going out for dinner. We share a love for motorcycles. I have my license and a bike, and she always enjoyed riding as a passenger. When she was younger, her dad used to take her on rides on his bike, and now she wants to get her own license and bike, which I didn't know about. We both enjoy spending time with our families. Usually every other Sunday we visit either her mom and stepdad, her dad and stepmom, or my father's house. We love driving to scenic places like nature spots and forests, taking our dog for walks with us. In terms of personality traits, I appreciate how impulsive she can be. Although sometimes it can be a bit much, I tend to overthink things a lot. I think about whether we should buy something, considering our finances and if we really need it. She, on the other hand, makes quick decisions and doesn't hesitate to book vacations or make purchases, which I admire. We're opposites in this aspect. It's clear to me that she loved humor. We shared an amazing connection through our sense of humor. Dry, corny jokes always made us laugh together. I admired her honesty and how straightforward she was until things started to go wrong. She would always express how she felt and what she liked or didn't like. For instance, about 4 years ago, I got too into a video game. I didn't realize it was affecting our relationship until she told me it was making her unhappy. I made a conscious effort to spend more time with her, reducing my gaming time significantly. I love everything about her. The way she talks, walks, and laughs. I appreciate her looks. She's incredibly attractive. I even love that when she sneezes, it's always multiple times in a row. However, these feelings are fading quickly now. Our sex life was somewhat limited. We didn't have sex very often, maybe about twice a month since we got married. I thought it was good, but I'm not sure how she felt about it. We both usually climaxed, unless she was pretending, but I don't think so. However, the sex itself wasn't very exciting. We tended to stick to the same 3 or 4 positions most of the time. Yesterday, I made some important calls. In the Netherlands, we have mediators who handle everything related to divorce, including legal matters, finances, and emotional discussions. They're like a one-stop shop for helping couples navigate divorce. Today, my soon-to-be ex and I had a meeting with the mediator. Unfortunately, her car broke down, so I had to pick her up. It was necessary for both of us to be there to make sure the divorce process goes smoothly through the mediator. The conversation with the mediator went as I expected. We both agreed on getting divorced, but we didn't discuss the infidelity because the mediator stays neutral and doesn't take sides. In the Netherlands, cheating doesn't affect divorce rights, so it wasn't necessary to bring up. After the mediator left, we sat at the table without much conversation, just our cats providing some distraction. After a while, I asked if she had anything else to say, and she said no. So I told her she could leave because I didn't want her there anymore. When she asked for a ride home, I declined, saying it was her responsibility to figure out how to get home. I wasn't in the mood to drive her home for 30 minutes, so I declined. This seemed to surprise her because I used to do everything for her in the past. So she called her mom, who will pick her up in about an hour. She's gone for now, taking a walk until her mom arrives. As she left, she looked hurt and emotional. Despite this, I'm staying strong and noticing her strange behavior, which makes me think she's still caught up in the affair. Even though I still love who she used to be, I'm keeping my distance and treating her like she doesn't mean much to me right now. As of now, she means nothing to me. She's not the woman I loved and was loyal to. Here's a bit of background for my question. I worked as a driver at a company called Supertrans for 11 years. 4 months ago, I left that job and started working at another transport company. About 1.5 years ago, I helped my wife get a job at Supertrans, where she works in the office. I know her affair partner, AP, because he works in the warehouse at Supertrans. Since I worked there for 11 years, I know everyone at Supertransit office, and I was well liked. I was even best friends with some of the dispatch guys. As far as I know, my former colleagues and her current colleagues know about our divorce, but they don't know about her affair with AP from the warehouse. One of my wife's coworkers, who sits next to her at work, is a 32-year-old gay man named Thomas. He was also there on the night my wife cheated, but he left early. Thomas and I were good friends at their office, and he liked me a lot. My wife is on vacation now and will be back at work next Monday. I know Thomas cares about me and would want the best for me. I'm considering telling Thomas about what happened, including the affair. I want to warn him because he has to work with my wife every day, and I don't think she can be trusted. I want Thomas to understand what kind of person my wife is. I also plan to tell him about the affair partner, AP, because Thomas was with them on the night my wife cheated. I want Thomas to see that the AP lacks morals too. I understand that this might seem like revenge, and in a way it is. My wife's actions have caused me a lot of pain. I used to wish for her to have a bad day at work because everyone there knows about her betrayal and affair. I was well liked by everyone at her office, and I've known most of them for over 10 years. I believe I have the right to choose who I share this information with. I've pretty much decided to do this, but I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on whether I should or shouldn't, and why. I appreciate all the support and advice you've given me during this challenging time. Mentally, I'm feeling quite drained, but surprisingly, I'm coping better than I expected after just 6 weeks. I have a question about my soon-to-be ex-wife's current behavior. Is it normal for her to treat everyone around her poorly, except for her affair partner, AP, and her own parents, it seems? She's treating me terribly, showing me zero respect and acting as though I'm the worst husband ever. She claims she's been unhappy for years, which I find hard to believe. It's true, I'm no longer bothered by what she's doing to me. She's the one damaging her own life, not mine. However, her actions are affecting other people too. For instance, my father sent her a heartfelt message, and she didn't even acknowledge it with a simple thank you. Since my mother passed away last February, my wife used to take my dad to an amusement park regularly. They both had subscriptions, so they could go often. My dad cared for her deeply, but now I see him aging rapidly, which is painful to watch. Yet my soon-to-be ex-wife didn't even respond to his message. She left him on read. She also mentioned wanting to stay close friends with my younger sister, but they haven't spoken in weeks. It's disappointing to see her neglecting these important relationships. My wife was supposed to spend the day with her best friend today, who is also a mutual friend of ours. However, she's been ignoring her completely. Her best friend sent multiple messages yesterday to confirm their plans, but my wife didn't reply or even read the messages. She also didn't answer the phone. Today, when they were supposed to meet, my wife still didn't pick up the phone or respond to messages, even though her WhatsApp shows she's been online. This has left her best friend upset and crying all day. She took time off work to be with my wife, to go shopping and have fun, but now she's been let down. Is this kind of behavior normal for someone caught up in an affair fog, or could there be another reason behind it? It doesn't matter to me what my wife is up to, I'm finished with her. But seeing how upset her best friend is, crying on her couch all day because of my wife's behavior, is incredibly sad. As I think about this situation, another question pops up, although I think I already know the answer. My soon-to-be ex-wife is telling people that we broke up because we drifted apart and she hasn't been happy for years. I guess it's typical for a cheater to make excuses and not be honest about falling in love with someone else. It's important to mention something I almost forgot. Our mutual friend, who is also my wife's best friend, lived with us for about 6 months from November 2021 to April 2022. She had just ended a bad relationship and needed a place to stay, so we welcomed her into our home. During that time, my wife and her best friend talked about everything, including our relationship and sex life. They were very open with each other. I talk to her best friend every day, and she has been honest with me. I asked her if any of what my wife said about not being happy with me for a long time could be true. Her best friend says it's all lies. My wife never mentioned being unhappy with me at any point. They shared everything, but my wife never talked about being unhappy. It seems like my soon-to-be ex-wife is either lying outright, possibly to justify cheating on me and leaving our marriage, or she kept her feelings of unhappiness a secret from everyone, including herself. I'm not sure which one it is, but based on what I've seen and heard, I never saw her being unhappy with me, and her best friend agrees. I want to express my gratitude once again for all the support. It's been amazing, and I wouldn't be where I am now without it. Edit. I truly hope that karma catches up with her soon for what she's done. Whenever someone asks me why we're getting divorced, I'm honest about my wife's infidelity and selfishness. Just yesterday, a friend showed me texts where my wife lied about our breakup, saying we grew apart and had different goals. I corrected our friend and told her the truth about my wife cheating and leaving me for someone else. People are shocked when they hear the truth because no one, not even me, expected my wife to behave this way. Update 3. I'll probably make another post in a few weeks, but for now I'm doing okay. I've accepted that my soon-to-be ex-wife is living her life without me, so I'm doing the same. We've talked a few times, and she says she still loves me but wasn't happy anymore. This change might be due to my mom's unexpected passing in February. She claims she's in love with the other guy but wants no commitments. I never realized she was unhappy with me, and she mentioned that her unhappiness was about life in general, not specifically about me. So it seems she cheated, developed feelings for the other guy, and chose to leave me for him. Once I understood this, I decided to focus on myself and let her go. I'm not bothered about what she does now or if she returns. I'm doing well either way. Work is going smoothly, and I've started going to the gym 3 times a week, which is helping me stay focused and positive. My muscles are sore from working out at the gym, and I've been chatting with a wonderful childhood friend. Although our relationship is just friendship, I'm grateful to have a female friend to talk to about everything. She lost her dad last year, so we can relate to each other on that topic too. Overall, I'm doing fine. Regarding the divorce, we've gathered all the necessary documents and sent them to the mediator. Now we're waiting to hear back from the mediator to schedule our next meeting and move forward with the divorce process. Regardless of whether my soon-to-be ex-wife returns or not, I've already decided that the divorce will happen. The marriage is definitely over. Update 4. In just 4 days, we're going to sign our divorce papers and make it official. I haven't updated in about 4 months, so this will be a lengthy post. During this time, I made mistakes and also took steps to regain my self-respect and power. Now, 5 months after our relationship ended and the initial shock, I hardly think about the cheating or let it affect me. For anyone going through a tough time, trust me, it does get better, and time truly helps. After the cheating and our breakup, I reacted poorly. I begged, pleaded, got angry, frustrated, and felt like I had lost control and she had lost her mind. This phase lasted about 2 months. Unfortunately, after this period, I realized I needed to stop acting this way. I told her I had thought a lot about everything and was open to seeing her and talking to her, but I couldn't promise anything about our future together. For the past 3 months, I haven't reached out to my soon-to-be ex-wife for anything casual or relationship-related. The only times I contacted her were regarding important matters like our upcoming divorce, finances, and our mutual house. During this time, I didn't just wait around, I took action. At 32 years old, I started going to the gym for the first time in my life to build muscle. I've always been on the skinny side, so I've been dedicated to working out 4 times a week for the past 3 months. I've noticed my muscles and overall appearance improving, but it's not just about looks. Working out has also boosted my mental well-being. Initially, it was a distraction, but now I feel more confident and better about myself. I discovered a newfound strength I didn't realize I had. Here's a tip. During tough times, hitting the gym can really help both physically and mentally. Regarding our shared house, I talked to the bank and can borrow extra money for a higher mortgage. I'll have to pay my ex-wife around $65,000 for the house, which I can manage and will do. Once everything is settled and I've paid her, I'll own the house outright, which is valued at about $300,000. While I'm not thrilled about paying her $65,000, in the long term, owning a house worth 5 times that amount is a significant advantage. Plus, she no longer has her own house. She's officially living with her mom again, although I know she spends a lot of time at her AP's place. You might wonder how I know this if I'm not in contact with her, but I'll explain that later. My ex-wife and I have a mutual friend, although we don't hang out together. We talk regularly. From what I gather, my ex left me for AP and quickly moved on to a new relationship. It's a bit confusing, and sometimes it feels like she's acting irrationally. I try not to dwell on thoughts of her, but it's hard to avoid at times. Right now, I could refer to AP as my ex's boyfriend because that's what he's become. However, I'll stick with AP because that's how it all started. Speaking of AP and my ex, karma seems to be catching up with them. When they first got together 5 months ago, everything looked rosy. But things have changed. AP is currently dealing with depression at home, which I know because our mutual friend shared screenshots of conversations between my ex and her. AP's life seems to be spiraling downward even further. He's lost his job and is dealing with depression. From the beginning, I felt morally superior to him, and now it's confirmed. I've always believed I'm a much better match for my ex-wife than he is. Early on in their relationship, I warned my ex-wife about him, and it turns out my concerns were valid. Not only has he shown his true colors as someone lacking morals, but he's also introduced dangerous substances into her life. I haven't spoken to my ex-wife about it, but it's clear things are going downhill fast for her. As for my ex-wife, I'm certain she's struggling and possibly doubting her choices. I hadn't spoken to her or seen her during the holidays, Christmas, and New Year's. However, about a week into the new year 2023, she texted me out of the blue, asking if I was home and if she could come over. When she arrived, the visit was short, only about 5 minutes. She told me she spent Christmas Day alone, crying. She wanted to know how my holidays were and how I was doing. I explained that my Christmas was just okay, since I lost my mom last year, making these the first holidays without her. But I also told her that overall, I was doing great, which is true. This visit felt strange to me. The only reason I can think of for her to care about how I'm doing is if she has regrets about her decisions. Time will tell. I also spoke to my ex's mom after New Year's. She called to wish me a happy new year and all the best. I didn't expect the call, but it was nice to hear from her since she was family for the past 8 years. She told me that my ex-wife hasn't been doing well lately. She's very sad, crying a lot, and mourning our marriage. My ex even told her mom, "I wish it didn't have to be like this," which makes me think she might be having second thoughts. However, only my ex can reach out and make a move, and at this point, I don't see that happening. The only power I have now is to give her the divorce she asked for and walk away, staying out of her life. So that's what I'm doing. I'm removing myself from her life, giving her the divorce, and focusing on bettering myself every single day. Apologies for the long post, but I believe this covers everything I needed to get off my chest. In 4 days, we will sign the divorce papers. While I'm doing great overall, I am still human and sometimes mourn our marriage and my ex-wife. I hate to see what's become of her, but I know it's out of my control and not my problem anymore. Let me end by once again thanking everyone in this community. Your support has been invaluable, and without your help, I wouldn't be where I am now, both mentally and physically. Thank you so much.